Top Notch family, what is going on? So, in today's video, we are going to be doing a New York Knicks versus the Boston Celtics preview / prediction. So, if you guys are ready for today's video and enjoyed today's video, of course, please drop a like. Helps my video get out there even more. Recommend to other creators and other people to support me. And also, if you guys enjoy NBA content, we do upload every single day. So, appreciate it if you do subscribe. Continue to keep liking, keep sharing all that good stuff. And let's get back in today's video. So, the Boston Celtics will be facing off against the New York Knicks, as the Boston Celtics did defeat the Orlando Magic and the New York Knicks did defeat the Detroit Pistons. Now, what we will start off with is just their records at home, away for obviously both teams, which I'm going to pop up on the screen right here. As you see, bang, bang, bang. This is the Boston Celtics record right here. So the Boston Celtics, we all know they finished second in the Eastern Conference with a record of 61 and 21. Their conference record was 39 and 13. Their home record was 28 and 13. Their away record was 33 and 8. They finished off the season 8 and 2 on a 2-game win streak. Now, this is coming from a season that they just won the championship and had 60 plus wins last year. So coming back to back years of 60 plus wins is absolutely incredible. Now, the New York Knicks had 10 less wins and 10 more losses, of course. They finished off the year 51 and 31. They were 34 and 18 at their conference, 27 and 14 at home, 24 and 17 away, 6 and 4 in their last 10, and they finished off as the third seed. We all know, they made major moves, acquiring players like Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, letting go of Dante D, Julius Randle, and all that good stuff. Their goal, obviously, is to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and win the championship. They have a lot of pressure on them, right? Now, the second thing that we will be looking at and comparing is going to be obviously the offensive rating. Those play a big factor. As you see, the Boston Celtics are the second best team offensively behind the Cavaliers at 120.6, but the Knicks are not far away as they're 118.5. Now, I think defense wins championships, of course. And so we're going to look at the defensive rating for both of these teams. As you see right here, the Boston Celtics are number 5. They're at 111.1. And the New York Knicks are number 14, which it is kind of a concern because when you're going against a team that has Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Porzingis, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Al Horford, Luke Cornette, Payton Pritchard, you're going to have to get some stops. If you can't get some stops, the Celtics are going to blow you guys out. Now, we all know in the regular season, the New York Knicks couldn't be the top team at all. Now, this is their chance to prove everybody wrong and beat the defending champs. If this is a year to beat the defending champs, it's this season. It has to be this season, right? So those are the two things so far: offensive rating, defensive rating, their records, and all that good stuff. Now, both of these teams have played in playoffs. They both beat their teams to get to this point, obviously, where they're at. Jason Tatum played 4 games, but he averaged about 31 points a game, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists, averaging close to 2 steals a game. He was leading this team in scoring. He did have a messed up wrist, but he came back and looked like the old Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown, obviously, is their second leading scorer, averaging 23 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2.5 assists, with 1.2 steals. Jaylen Brown is also dealing with a knee injury, but he came out not too long ago pretty much saying that the knee is coming back to 100%. So that's a good thing for the Boston Celtics. And then Derek White, Porzingis, Drew Holiday, Payton Pritchard, Al Horford, Ketta, and Luke Cornette. Those are the guys that they roll with, and Sam Hauser. Now, one thing I will say is I'm not too sure what's going on with Drew Holiday's health. He did miss pretty much the last couple games against Orlando Magic. This could be a huge loss for the Boston Celtics. We all know Drew Holiday is a great defender. He does have some moments where he could hit some big shots and give them 12 to 14 points. I think the Boston Celtics still overcome without Drew Holiday like they did against Orlando Magic, but he needs to be healthy in the series for sure to contain a player like Jalen Brunson, which he was absolutely amazing in this postseason. The more bodies you throw at Jalen Brunson, you will have him struggling, and that would really slow down that Knicks offense. Now, when we look at the New York Knicks, of course, there are 2 guys leading the role is going to be Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. As you see, Jason Tatum averaging 30-plus points, but so is Jalen Brunson. The number 1 guys, Tatum, Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's averaging 31.5 points. He also is leading the team in assists, averaging 8.2 assists, even though I do think at sometimes he is a ball hog, which, yeah. As you see, the Boston Celtics, their stats, they had a lot of players playing. The New York Knicks, it is trimmed down because all they do is play their starting five. Sometimes they go out there and give Mitchell Robinson minutes and Miles McBride, but as you see, the minutes are extremely low. Miles McBride is at 16, Campaign's at 8, Mitchell's at 16, and for all the starters, they're playing 35 plus minutes a game, which I just don't think is sustainable. But Tom Thibodeau does this every single year. This is what he does. And then obviously Karl Towns, the first round, averaging 20 and 10 out, rounded up and stuff like that. Now, what I will say is Detroit Pistons gave the New York Knicks a fight, but so did the Orlando Magic. With the physicality, the Boston Celtics did not like that at all. They also did beat them in 5 games. Unlike the New York Knicks, it was getting a little nervous, right? It was getting a little scary. Detroit was always making runs. But at the end of the day, they did close them out. Jalen Brunson hit a major shot, crossed up a Sword Thompson, daggered it. There's a reason why Jalen Brunson is one of the most clutchest players in the league. Now, let's look at the New York Knicks depth. As you see, we brought this up before, about a couple minutes ago. I do not trust their depth at all. And obviously, Thibodeau doesn't trust their depth at all, which gives the advantage to the Boston Celtics. The more depth you have, the more depth you have makes you a better overall team. The more depth you have makes you win championships. That's why the Boston Celtics and all these other teams win championships, because of depth. The New York Knicks just doesn't have that. So when we look at the Boston Celtics depth, which I'm going to pop up on the screen once again, we're just going to go back to the team stats and stuff like that. They got some players. They got Peyton Pritchard, Al Horford, Luke Cornett, Sam Hauser. That's kind of their depth, which is excellent. Okay, so you kind of give the advantage to that. The 1-2 punch, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown versus Jalen Brunson versus Karl Towns. My opinion, I'm going with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown just because I trust him a little bit more. I think Jalen Brunson holds his own with Jason Tatum. You could kind of put it tie. I'll give it to that. But Jaylen Brown versus Karl Towns, I seen Karl Towns look soft in the playoffs. I seen him disappear in the playoffs, but also I did see him hit some big shots. But what I think the defensive pressure the Celtics are going to do and throw at Karl Towns is only going to aggravate him, that's why I'm rolling with the Celtics. So their duel, I'm taking over the New York Knicks. Their depth, I'm taking over the New York Knicks too. What I will say is, though, they do got some players that could potentially slow down Tatum or Brown with OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. I do think Mikal Bridges is a little bit overrated as a defender. I see him get cooked all the time, and I think Jaylen Brown, Derek White will have they're going to cook Mikal Bridges. OG Anunoby a little bit different. He is the better defender, and he could slow down Tatum a little bit. We did see it near the end of the season when they did match up, and it was a little bit different. And also what I will say is with Mitchell Robinson being back, it definitely helps out the New York Knicks a lot because those matchups, they were just trying to expose Karl Towns in the pick and roll. You know what I mean? Like, you get Karl Towns in a pick and roll, Jason Tatum taking him one-on-one, Jaylen Brown taking him one-on-one, Derek White taking him one-on-one. It's easy pickings. Mitchell Robinson being back does help for that reason. Now, I'm not saying Mitchell Robinson's going to be a lockdown defender, but he was playing a little bit better defense. And if OG Anunoby can get through the screens that Luke Cornett sets, or Al Horford and Mikal Bridges can get some stops on Tatum, like I said, I think they can make it a competitive series. But I think at the end of the day, I think the Boston Celtics are the superior team. I think they have the better players, the better depth, the better coaching staff. And I just think they're going to win this series kind of easy. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the New York Knicks went to war against the Detroit Pistons. I think they're going to be worn out. When you're playing 40-plus minutes in the playoffs every single game, you're going to get tired. And with the Celtics, like I said, they got a little bit more rest. The Knicks got a little rest, but I'm going with the Celtics in 5 games. I think the Celtics didn't even play their best basketball, and they still beat the Orlando Magic. And if Jrue Holiday comes back in this series, he's definitely going to be throwing a lot at Jalen Brunson. I'm not saying Jrue Holiday is the Jalen Brunson stopper, but when you're throwing bodies like a Jaylen Brown, a Derek White, a Jrue Holiday, it's a little bit different now, right? You look at Jaylen Brown, you look at Jalen Brunson, who was really the defensive stoppers outside of a Sword Thompson? Really nobody. When there's 3 constant bodies and they're trapping you and they're doubling you, now you're forcing the Knicks to run their offense, which I seen the Knicks half-court offense. If Jalen Brunson doesn't touch the ball, it looks bad. If you could somehow take Jalen Brunson out of the series, which I think they could try to, this is no series. Even if he has his best games, I'm just rolling with the Celtics. But let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this series, man? Do you guys think I'm wrong? And do you think this series is going to be a little bit more competitive than we all think it is? I just think the Boston Celtics know they didn't play that well, and I think they're going to turn up this series. Simple as that. But appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And your boys out.